You're watching ZTN News Blitz. Good afternoon, I'm Time with Tiniri. Let's take a look at the headlines. No going back on Forex abusers, naming shaming. Police want unrepentant criminals denied bail. Ramaphosa to testify in Makashule suspension case. And in sport, Zimbabwe mourns Scania. Africa has recorded a 40% jump in COVID-19 cases and deaths in the past 7 days, the highest globally. According to latest data from the World Health Organization, there was a 39% change in new cases in the last 7 days. The continent now has a cumulative 3,862,396 cases of COVID-19, with 47 countries affected. The number of COVID-19 related deaths also went up by an estimated 38% in the last 7 days. Cumulative 93,119 people have succumbed to the virus on the continent since the onset of the pandemic. Back home, new COVID-19 infections and deaths continue rising. In the last 24 hours alone, the country recorded 17 deaths and 826 cases, the highest so far this month. Mashonaland West remains the country's epicenter in the current wave of infections, having recorded 281 cases and 9 deaths in the last 24 hours. In the last 7 days, the country has recorded 3,379 new infections and 62 deaths. Several districts have since been put under lockdown as the country battles to contain the pandemic. Deputy Director of Laboratory Services in the Ministry of Health and Childcare, Dr. Raiva Simbi, told ZTN that government is now scaling up testing, particularly in hotspot areas. On Thursday, the country received 57 polymerase chain reaction machines, which can detect different COVID-19 variants and have a shorter turnaround time for results. Dr. Simbi speaks.
And these machines can also do variant testing. So you can distinguish the positives according to their variants, whether it's Alpha variant, the South African, it's Beta variant, the UK, then also it's the Delta variant, the Indian. So you can actually distinguish using these type of machines. The most dominant variant from the sequencing that we have done previously is the South African variant, which is the Beta variant.
Meanwhile, authorities have imposed a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in Zimbabwe's second largest city, Bulawayo, in line with the localized lockdown measures meant to curb the spread of COVID-19. Businesses in the city center and COVID-19 hotspot suburbs will now operate from 8 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. as part of the lockdown conditions. The measures take effect today. Our correspondent Robin Muchetu is on standby to give us an update on the situation in the city. Good afternoon, Robin.
The country's second largest city, Bulawayo, has been placed under a localized lockdown following an increase of cases of COVID-19. Suburbs such as Kaujin Park, Makokoba and Sizinda have had to go under a strict lockdown following cases that were increasing in those areas. The police have also issued a new statement encouraging all businesses to close at 3 p.m. and also open at 8 a.m. The curfew has further been extended from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning.
Moving on, Finance and Economic Development Secretary George Guvamatanga recently told Parliament that the outcry by the business sector since the introduction of Statutory Instrument 127 of 2021 shows that many business people were breaking the law stipulated in Statutory Instrument 185 of 2020. Secretary Guvamatanga declared that the names of more businesses abusing funds from the auction system will soon be released and the fines will be hefty.
And raising issue. What industry is actually saying is that they've been blatantly ignoring government in SI 185 because the requirement to conform is not contained in SI 127. The requirement to conform to all those requirements were in SI 185, which industry is law. We are compiling another list of those who are not complying. And I can assure you, honorable members, those benefits are going to be very, very low.
Meanwhile, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Dr. John Mangunja also told parliamentarians that the bank is currently addressing queries from business over a list of companies which are abusing forex sourced from the auction system.
That's why that the list, our first list of 18 companies, we've said to them, if any of them may feel that they've been injured in the process, we are meeting them one by one, and we're talking to them, we're telling them exactly why they were there. And some of them, they even come to the auction for the purpose of selling the foreign currency domestically. Germany, we've even some of our entities who are abusing the bills of entries, which is even again against. So the SI 27 will say, no, let's use the civil fine, let's use the civil fines as opposed to go to court, wasting our time to go to the courts.
Dr. Mangudga also reflected on the gains of the auction system, which reached a year on Wednesday, June 23.
We thank God, Chairman, that it has moved this economy in a very positive manner. We are quite happy, Chairman, that even the CZI themselves can confirm about capacity utilization that they've gone up. Visiting CC, they've seen it, and it's very vivid that the products in our shops, most of them, 60 to 70% are locally produced goods. So we thank God that the industry that is today complaining about 127, they've done very well. We want to thank them. They've done very well.
Still with business, according to the Fin Survey report of 2012, the SME sector employs well over 5.7 million people in Zimbabwe. In addition, it is estimated that the sector is contributing about 50% of the country's gross domestic product. However, access to affordable loans for the sector remains a challenge to that end. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has announced a 500 million Zimbabwe dollar medium-term accommodation facility for micro, small and medium enterprises. Under this facility, SMEs can access loans with interest rates lower than those currently prevailing on the market. But is this enough, and how easy is it to access the facility? Our business correspondent Andy Hodges unpacks this facility. Good afternoon, Andy.
Thank you, Itai. You know, any funding for the SME sector is good news. I mean, if you look at the Zimbabwean economy, 60% of transactions in the economy are going through the informal and the SME sector. So the $500 million that's been put in place by the Ministry of Finance and the Reserve Bank must be welcomed. A couple of issues, though. One, will it be under concessionary funding? The Reserve Bank says yes, so therefore SMEs will be able to access the funds at cheaper rates than they can borrow currently in the open market. But secondly, the other problem is this. The money is to be accessed through banks. What will banks ask for? Let's hope that banks don't ask for things like security and collateral, etc., which some SMEs or most SMEs can't really put up. We need to keep an eye on that. But however, it's good news. This is a plus for the government and the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe in terms of promoting and supporting the SME sector. Back to you, Itai.
Rwanda has increased the frequency of its day and night flights, adding the Harare-Heathrow route to its schedule. Country manager Wilson Karemera says the move signifies growing confidence in Zimbabwe as a destination of choice. Rwanda was the first African airlines to be awarded the top diamond status rating for COVID-19 prevention measures, the highest attainable level.
We've resumed flights to London, straight to Heathrow with good rates. And on top of that, we fly to Cape Town every Friday. London is also every Friday. We fly also to Joburg, and plus our entire network.
Police in Zimbabwe say unrepentant criminals should not be granted bail, as most of them go on to commit offences while they are out on bail. The country's constitution states that a person who has been arrested must be released unconditionally or on reasonable conditions, pending a charge or trial, unless there are compelling reasons justifying their continued detention. But National Police spokesperson, Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati, believes the provision is being abused by criminals. He said this during a live ZTN Current Affairs show, The Chase, on Thursday.
We have discovered that yes, people talk of human rights, but people are abusing the justice system in our country, because we have had criminals who have been arrested. They are on bail. As they are on bail, they are continuing to commit robbery cases. And the resources, state resources are being wasted to follow these criminals day in, day out. So we are going to engage the judiciary to ensure that robbery cases are speeded up in terms of trials, so that some of these cases which have been on hold for a long time, they are cleared. Maybe that would also help to curtail some of these robbery syndicates, because find that somebody is on bail, he commits a robbery case today, he engages lawyers, and then he goes to court, he's given bail. After bail, he again commits another robbery case. It becomes a vicious circle where the judiciary and the police are blamed. When people talk of human rights, we also want people to be responsible. People who are not repenting, they don't deserve a bail. They deserve to rot.
Calvin Romeo Matanda is a currency trader in Harare, and like any serious trader, he has his office in the Zimbabwean capital's nerve center, First Street. But unlike his peers in financial capitals such as New York, London and Beijing, Matanda's office is far from fancy. It's just a disused rubbish bin where a placard advertising his services is strategically placed. But from there, Matanda is making a living buying torn United States dollars at prices lower than their face value before taking them to banks where they are replaced. The entrepreneur is taking advantage of an unfortunate situation where individuals and some businesses in Zimbabwe continue to turn down money because it's either torn, dirty or both. One of Matanda's customers was our head of input, Makomborero Mutimkulu, who struggled to transact with a dollar that had seen its better days. Here is his story.
I'm in Harare's famed First Street. I have a dollar in my hand, but unfortunately, this dollar is not in the best of shapes. So wherever I'm going, trying to buy something, no one is accepting this dollar. But they are pointing me to one man who is in the business of buying dollars like this and making money out of it. He's in some business of currency trade, but it's not at the top end of the market, it's some lower end of the market. So what I'm going to do right now is go to talk to the guy, find out how much this dollar is worth. You guys can follow me. Baba, yes. Good. Ndine dollar rangu iri. Riri kurambwa nevanhu. Nezva rakaita iri, iwo wanzi unotenga dollar. How much is this dollar worth now?
Was first thing first, channel my serial numbers. Number E and this number must be the same.
Must be the same.
Yeah.
So that's the first port of call.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's money.
It's money.
I can take it.
You can take it.
But I can take it when I paid 70%
of the face value.
Yes.
But it's a dollar.
Yeah, but it's $2. It's $2, and I can give you 70.
70% of this money.
Yes.
So what do you go and do with it? I've give you my money. You give me 70% of it. You wash it? What are you going to do with this money?
Personally, what happened to me is one of the day I was going to Bulawayo. I was having 20 note US dollar. People, they were refusing it. So those guys with that bus, they drove me along the way. So I embarked on more than 15 kilometers on foot.
On foot. I
was very worried. So I took upon myself to collect this money. Then I take it to the responsible authorities. Simple like that. Simple like ABCD.
Okay. So wait. And when I give you this dollar, you give me 70% of it.
Yes.
You're going to make your money how? By going to the banks?
If I take them, where I take them, they give me the full price.
Good. So you're going to give me 70% of this money. You wake up every day, you come here. This is your business.
Yes.
How much money do you handle per day?
It is between 100 US and 200. 2 notes.
2 notes.
Yes.
And this is your advertising, boy.
Yes.
You know, there are people who make big money doing this in countries like USA. You are here. What is your dream? Where do you want to be maybe in 10 years' time?
No, I've got a dream.
Yeah.
I want to be somewhere.
Doing this business?
Doing this business. Because also me personally, I'm someone who is friendly to the environment. So, and also I want to advise other people. We're not supposed to throw money. Just you have to make sure that our environment is safe. Don't throw money. Take them to the responsible authority just to save the world economy.
My brother, thank you very much for serving me. So 70% of my dollar, you're going to take 30%. Yes. I hope your business will continue to flourish.
Thank you very much.
So this is the day-to-day happenings of a man or a woman in Zimbabwe who has a dollar or some kind of money that is not in the best of shapes. But thanks to a guy like Kelvin, who is in the business of buying money, everyone is walking away smiling for a bit. He gets his 30, I get my 70, I get to buy what I need to buy. Reporting for ZTA News in Harare, I'm Makomborero Mtimkulu.
In South Africa, African National Congress President Cyril Ramaphosa and Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte will get to state their case this afternoon as embattled Secretary General Ace Makashule challenges his suspension from the party in the High Court in Johannesburg. Makashule wants to test the constitutionality of the ANC's 2017 step-aside resolution and its 25.70 rule, which calls for the suspension of members facing criminal charges without giving them an opportunity to appeal the temporary suspension. The UK is to impose a pre-9 p.m. ban on TV adverts for food high in sugar, salt and fat. Products affected include chocolate, burgers, soft drinks, cakes, sweets, ice cream, biscuits, sweetened juices, crisps and pizzas. A total ban on online adverts was proposed last year, but this has been scaled back after consultation. The TV restrictions come after Prime Minister Boris Johnson made tackling obesity, which affects more than a quarter of UK adults, a priority for the government. Plaudits are awash for the Zimbabwe pace bowler Blessing Zarabani after winning the Pakistani Super League Championship with the Malton Sultans yesterday. The 24-year-old bowler picked 2 wickets as the Sultans beat Peshawar Zalmi by 47 runs at Abu Dhabi. We are now joined by our correspondent Brighton Jawi for more on Zarabani's feat. Thanks for joining us, Brighton. This is a positive story for Zimbabwe cricket, definitely worth celebrating.
Thank you, Tai. Most definitely, it's a worth celebrating feat for Zimbabwe cricket. Blessing Mzalabani continues to be an inspirational story. He's a very positive-minded guy, very humble guy, and he did well in this PSL. He was a late-time replacement for Obed McCoy, the West Indian, and he did well. And the flower coached the team, and the day after his induction into the ICC Hall of Fame, he presented Mzalabani with his Southern Mutants cap. So it was good for Zimbabwe cricket. And speaking to the national team coach Rajput this week, he was positive that Mzalabani would do well, and he did well. And he says, the coach said, this is a motivation for other guys to do well for the national team. And once you do well for the national team, you do well for yourself. So the Mountain Sultans, they like Zimbabweans. Brendan Taylor has also played for them. And all other guys to play in the PSO include Elton Chigumba and Sikandar Raza. So Zimbabweans do well in the PSO. You can only dream that they continue doing well.
So, Jawi, what's next from Zarabani? Now, can we expect more T20 gigs for him?
Coming next is definitely the Bangladesh series that has been confirmed. So Zarabani is expected to join the rest of the guys next week. They are already in camp preparing for this series. Bangladesh are expected next week, and Zarabani, fresh from game time, obviously they will just monitor his fitness and give him more time to rest. But in terms of match preparedness, you'd like to believe he's in a better position. Can you expect him to get contracts and other T20 gigs? You can dream because he's doing well. He was rewarded for doing well against Pakistan. He did well in the PSL. So why not? Maybe the Caribbean Premier League is probably his next big chance. And also good thing is, Andy Flower coaches a team in the Caribbean Premier League. So that might help Zarabani's case. The IPO, the Big Bash, all these leagues are there. And considering that also these days, because of the bubbles, most players are pulling out of tournaments because of bubble fatigue. So that opens up opportunities. It's the case that got him to the PSL. Yes, he got there because he performed, but there was an opening because of bubble fatigue. So there's a chance that he might play in other T20 leagues.
Moving on, World Boxing Federation middleweight champion Charles Manyuchi will realize his dream of fighting in Masvingo, the town where his professional career started. This is after the Sports and Recreation Commission yesterday cleared his fight against Mohamed Sebiala of Uganda on July 3. We spoke to Sunday Mail reporter Langton Nyakwenda on what this means for Manyuchi.
I think it's good news for Zimbabwe boxing as a whole, and for Charles Manyuchi, who gets a chance to fight in Masvingo, where his career started in 2009. If you remember, he was picked up by Edson Shobo Jr. from Triangle and gave him a start in 2009, fighting his first professional bout against Isaac Pokeni at Hilton Sports Club in 2009, up to until he won the WBC, lost it, and won the WBF. And also, if Manyuchi had not been cleared to fight this match, there was a risk he was going to lose the title Because according to rules of and regulations of the WBF, if a world champion doesn't defend his belt in 9 months, he will be stripped of the title. But last year, Manucci did not defend his title because of the COVID-19. He won the title in 2019, and since then he hasn't defended it. But last year he was given a reprieve, but this year there was no way he was going to get a reprieve, because according to the WBF, they were mulling, stripping Manucci of the fight, of the belt. But now it's good news. The ministry has cleared Manucci to fight in Masvingo at Flamboyant Hotel on 3 July. It's an emotional reunion with his mentor or protege, Mr. Edson Jobo Jr., who picked Manucci when he was still unknown back in 2009.
It's another sad day for Zimbabwe football following the death of legend Mishek Chidzambwa yesterday. Mishek, brother to Sunday Chidzambwa, will be remembered for captaining Zimbabwe to the 1985 Kikafa Challenge Cup. He was also the first coach to inspire the country to a COSAFA Cup in the year 2000. The Dynamos legend, who was 66, was unwell for the past 1 year. His funeral is being held in Zingeza. For updates, connect us with us on our Twitter handle at ZTN News, YouTube at ZTN, and our website ztn.co.zw. We leave you with these fond memories of the Scania, as he was affectionately known.
Thank you.